Welcome to GREDA TV, your window into Ghana's real estate sector, powered by the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association. This is the platform where we delve into the stories behind the people driving the development of housing in Ghana. My name is Akosia Poma and I'll be your hostess for today. We have with us
Grace Amewu Yesutor.
Welcome, Grace.
Thank you.
Grace, can you tell us about yourself and how your journey into real estate began?
Okay. I'm an architecture student. I'm still on the way of becoming an architect.
Okay.
I graduated last 2 years, that's 2024, from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And how I got into real estate was through national service.
Okay.
Yes, so there was an opening with GREDA for their new project, the GREDA Green Building Certification. Okay. Yes, so a senior colleague recommended me for the role. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing up till now.
So being in there, you decided to specialize in green building technology.
Yes.
And how do you think Ghana needs to take sustainability seriously when it comes to our development?
Okay, sustainability now is the new wave in the construction industry. I mean, it's the same wave in other industries, but when it comes to construction, it's very important because the built environment has a lot of impact on the natural environment. And so whatever we do in construction can either bring positive or negative impact on the environment. So in this time, sustainability is one of the big issues. Yes, and Ghana needs sustainability, especially when we started having power outages.
Okay.
And then when we started having increased electricity costs, urban flooding, yes, those were signs that we needed to change how we designed and built our houses.
So for someone hearing the term for the first time, what exactly is green building technology?
Okay, a lot of people think green building is a greenhouse in terms of color or only plants.
Okay.
But green building is beyond plants and colors. Green building is about the design itself. So right from conception, the one doing the design has to be conscious of sustainability, and then the construction process also comes into play.
Okay.
Then we have the building components like the light fixtures, the plumbing fixtures. Yes, so in short, green building is a building that has less negative impact on the environment, and then it's cost effective to run.
Why is green building necessary for Ghana at this stage of our development?
Okay, so Ghana is still a developing country, and we are yet to build the next 50% of our infrastructure is yet to be built. So if we are able to adopt green building, it's going to really help us as a country, because even as at this level, we are having a lot of pressure on our national infrastructure and national facilities. So if we are able to adopt green building principles into our construction, I believe the pressure on our facilities, such as the electricity, the national water system, would drastically reduce.
Okay, so if I'm getting you right, green buildings will help reduce the pressure on the national grid.
Yeah.
But how exactly does it help with Ghana's electricity and water challenges?
Okay, so I would start from the design concept.
Okay.
So if buildings are design, there's something called passive design in architecture that's allowing the use of natural air, that's cross ventilation. So when there's cross ventilation in a space, you don't have to turn on your fan, you don't have to turn on your AC. By that, you are reducing the use of the electricity. And if you have day lighting, you have large windows that bring in light.
Natural light.
Yes, you don't have to turn on your bulbs during the day. Yes. So those kind of things.
Okay. You mentioned the light fixtures and stuff, but what about the building materials as well?
Yes, building materials are also very important. So we have vernacular materials. These are materials that are naturally found at a specific geographic area.
Okay.
Yes, so for example, if you take the North Pole, it's easy to get ice blocks because the climate permits it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you come to our place, we could find materials like bamboo, mud, stones from the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so these are natural materials that we have that are suitable to our climate.
Okay.
Yes, because when you take the mud, for example, it's a material that controls temperature.
Okay.
Yes, so it helps regulate indoor temperature by not allowing outdoor temperature come into the space.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Many people believe green buildings are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? And can you expand more on that?
Okay, green buildings are not expensive per se. Yes. There are simple ways to achieving green. First, through the design.
Mm-hmm.
So if you design your building well, you might not need to use ACs during the day or at all. You might just have to use the fan because you have cross ventilation.
Okay.
Then you might not need to use light, the electric light,
Mm-hmm.
during the day because you have the natural light coming in. And other simple ways such as rain harvesting.
Okay.
Yes. Now, if we remember, our parents used to just harvest rain into barrels.
With the rain gutters.
Yes. So that's a way. So where it becomes a bit expensive is on the side of technology.
Okay.
So if someone wants to go for smart technology, like installing sensor lights, yes, that's when it's expensive upfront. Yes, so usually when you do the calculation over the lifetime, it's easier. Yeah, it's more cost effective as compared to what we do on a day-to-day basis.
As in, the onboarding cost might be more expensive when you're doing it, but if you calculate it over the long period, it's cheaper.
Yes,
Okay.
cheaper.
So for middle-income developers in Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
do you think they can realistically adopt the green technology?
Yes. I believe developers are already doing 50% of that.
Okay.
Yes, because moving around, I've seen that, like I said, there are simple ways to achieving green. Yes, so I've seen developers using large windows. I've seen them installing roof gutters, which could facilitate the rain harvesting. Yes, and then I've seen them use large overhangs, which covers the windows and the doors. And then already they use, it's common to see LED lightings, which are sustainable lighting fixtures. And then it's common to see inverter ACs.
Okay.
And then the double faucet toilets and the basins as well. So I think we are already doing 50% of green. So if we push a bit, we'll be able to
Do more.
Yeah.
Okay. What role is GREDA playing in promoting green building practices currently?
Okay, currently GREDA is promoting green building through education, That's through workshops for its developers. And then we also have the GREDA Green Building Certification Program. So it's a certification system. So just like the way we have the LEED, the BREEAM, and the EDGE, GREDA has developed a localized system for our residential buildings. So we are able to take data and assessments on residential buildings to certify them green. Yeah. And on the other side, it's also a tool for data collection.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are training programs and incentives being developed for the developers who are incorporating the green technology.
Yes.
And if anybody has interest, there are trainings available.
Yes, there are trainings available.
Okay. But how open do you think Ghanaians are to adopting the green technologies?
I think it's rapidly becoming a thing. Yes, and I think very soon most developers will be adopting it. Yes, because green building is a wave, and I think in the next decade the difference in developers will be those who have been able to adopt the principles of green building, and then those who sat and watched on. Yeah.
But how is adopting the green building advantageous to the developers who incorporate it now?
Okay, so I believe that a time is going to come where consumers are going to be aware of green and its benefits, such that there will be high demand for green stuffs
over the regular ones
that we have now. Yeah.
Okay. What are the biggest challenges or obstacles facing green development implementation in Ghana? Is it a knowledge gap, funding gap, policy gap, or you think is a mindset issue?
Okay, I would say it's a bit of all of what you just mentioned. So when we say the knowledge gap, it's now that there's knowledge going around, yes, but then it's going to take some time for people to actually absorb in those knowledge. And then when it comes to policy, yes, I'm aware of some policies that are going on in some government sectors, which would be coming out soon. So there's work done on that aspect as well. And then for the funding, there's also the issue of funding, because like I said earlier, when it comes to the green technology, there's a need for fund. For example, if someone wants to install the solar for his or her home, the person is going to need funding for the technology. Yes, and so if there can be some flexible funds that people can access for these things, I think it will be easier.
Okay. Yeah. Aside the natural materials you mentioned, being the mud, the stones, the wood, are there readily available sustainable building materials?
Yes.
Locally?
Yes. Okay, so aside the local materials, we also have other materials such as the tempered glasses. Yes, so we have range of the glasses, those that are green and then the normal ones. And then we also have green concrete. So
which one is the green concrete?
Yes. So concrete is made of the cement, the sand and the stone. So now we have cements that are green. Yes, so when you use a green cement to manufacture your concrete, you are getting a green concrete. And then aside that, there are mixtures that you can add to your concrete mixture, yes, to get a green concrete. Yeah.
Regarding sustainability, where do you see the real estate business in the next decade?
Okay, in the next decade, I think sustainability is going to be a standard more than an option.
Why do you say so?
Yeah, because with everything going on, government's involvement, awareness being created. It's going to get to a point that if you are not doing sustainability, you are left out. Yes, so it's going to be a standard. Yeah.
What advice would you give developers who are hesitant to adopt the green practices?
Okay. I would say that very soon, green practices is not just going to be about social responsibilities. It's going to be a matter of market competitiveness. So, what will give your business an advantage over your competitor is the green factor. Yes. So, I would say they should get on board with a green initiative. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this GREDA TV initiative?
Oh, I think it's a very great thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I really love it because we didn't have information about the real estate sector. You either hear it from the news and other sources. So I think it's a great thing to be hearing from the real
people themselves. Yes. Where can we find out more about green building technology?
Okay. So you can find more about green technology from GREDA Green Building Department of GREDA. Yes, you can give us a call or send us an email. Yes, but then we are not limited to just GREDA Green Building Department. There are a lot of courses online that people can take as well. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any final thoughts or encouragement, advice for Ghanaians who are watching, who are more interested in the green building technology?
Yes, I would say that green building, it's not just the responsibility of developers. It's everyone's responsibility, because if the consumer is not demanding for green stuffs, the developers can get away with anything. So if consumers also come on board, it kind of puts developers in check. Yes, and I also say that developers should get on board early because it's to their own advantage.
Grace,
yes,
I believe this green building technology is a topic worth visiting again.
Yes, definitely.
I would like to have you here again, so we can answer some questions. So I would appeal to the viewers to send in your questions, your concerns, whatever you want to understand more about this green building technology. Send us the questions, and the next time we have Grace on here, we'll have her answer all those questions for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Grace, for your time.
It's a pleasure.